Welcome to SUSD Spotlight, your go-to source for all things happening within the district. Whether it's celebrating student and staff achievements, delving into trending education topics, or highlighting inspiring human interest stories, we've got you covered. Join us as we illuminate the incredible endeavors taking place in our schools and forge connections within our community. Get ready to be informed, inspired, and engaged as we embark on this journey together, spotlighting the extraordinary in SUSD. Welcome to another edition of SUSD Spotlight. Today we're excited to welcome in studio Saguaro High School teacher Liz Bond, along with one of her students, Jacob Smith, to talk about our CTE and biotech program. Welcome.
Thank you.
So for our listeners, maybe you can just do a quick self-introduction. Jacob, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Jacob Smith. I'm a senior at Saguaro High School.
I'm Liz Bond. I have taught at Saguaro High School for 5 years now. I have a degree in molecular biology and biotechnology. I work in animal medicine still, and I have a lot of background in human medicine, animal medicine, and research.
Great. So tell me a little bit about the biotech CTE program. What are the components? Why would a student be interested in it?
Sure. So biotechnology is really an emerging field. It really started more mainstream about 25 years ago. I was one of the first graduating classes at ASU in that with a bachelor in that. And so what's really cool is I have seen it come full circle where experiments that I've done in my higher classes at ASU, I'm teaching to high school students. And so it really tells you about the speed at which this technology is advancing, and the foundational skills that are taught in our class will really set them up to be even that much further ahead than their peers when they start into their college or research careers.
Is it a 2-year program?
It kind of is. It's a block class.
Okay.
So it's a 2-period class. We do it that way because our experiments tend to take we rush and then it takes a long time. So we deal with biological organisms. So a lot of that has a little bit different manipulation than a regular lab class. And so a lot of our equipment is a little more technical, really precision oriented, because what we deal with is on a very small scale. DNA is very small. We can barely see it unless we stain it a certain way. And then we can see the effects of that in the bigger picture in the organism. So it's just teaching them that kind of stuff.
So Jacob, what drew you to enroll in biotech?
Well, my biggest thing was actually I wanted to have Miss Bond as a teacher again because I had her for my freshman year for biology, and then junior year I took AP Bio again. Or not again, I took AP Bio, partially to have Miss Bond, partially because I was interested in the class. And then for biotech, I wanted to have Miss Bond as a teacher again for my senior year, but also my brother so I have a twin brother, so he's same grade as me, and he did AP Bio last year as well. So he was really interested in the class, and he'd talk it up a lot. And he was definitely a big part of why I ended up in the class, because he was making it sound like it would be a great time.
And is this an area you're interested in pursuing further study after you graduate, or just something that's kind of a passion and interest here in high school?
I think right now I would say more of a passion, but I think the further in we go, the more applicable it is to a lot of different fields. So the more I get to learn in it, the more it does become an actual interest.
What's been the most interesting thing you've learned so far this semester?
I think the most interesting thing, I think pretty recently, we were doing electrophoresis. So we would take DNA and we'd get to kind of measure it out. It was a big process. Miss Bond could explain it a lot better than it could, but basically we got to just see how DNA would get affected in different ways. We got to look at it, we got to stain it out, and I thought it was very fascinating.
And so when you're studying this, have there been, that you said was most interesting, but are you surprised how hands-on the block scheduling provides for? Or how different is it from your AP biology class?
I think it's very different because it's weird too, because there's passing time and there's a break. So it's not like we don't take it as a break, but there is definitely time where it's a little more you can hear outside, it's a little more disruptive. So it makes everybody focus a little more. You have to be a little more locked in for it. But I think it's good to have it as a block class because every time we do a lab, or not every time, but a lot of times when we're doing a lab, we need at least 20 minutes of the next class, 30 minutes of the next class. Sometimes it's first opening bell till second bell. Sometimes I've stayed back through a little bit into third period just because it needs to keep going. So, I think having that block schedule, it's a big deal. It's really helpful because if we didn't have it, I don't think we wouldn't get anything done really, because a lot of it has to be like following something that just happened.
When you talked about DNA, what kinds of DNA? Is it like plant? Is it animal? What kind of DNA, and what are you learning about it?
We've done a lot of DNA. We've done bacteria. We've done plant.
The one we just did was viral.
So we just did viral. I missed day one of that, so I missed what kind it was. But so we've done. I don't think we've done like human or animal, but other than that, we've dealt with a lot of different kinds of DNA, and it's always interesting to see how they're different and how like processes change, because the process is different for each one every time we've done something to it.
Does it make you see things differently or connections in the world?
I think connections. I've seen a lot of connections, mostly back to AP Bio, but like definitely a lot of like the cell stuff we learned, cell biology last year. A lot of it's like it comes back in biotech and it clicks a lot more. Like it's like I have a foundation to it already from biology, but then I'm like getting in depth and I'm seeing it in like in motion, and it makes it make more sense, but it also I can see it in like a real world like application.
And what's the tech aspect of biotech?
So the technical skills they learn really are driven by the industry. So they have to learn, it prepares them to work in a laboratory. So there's a lot of regulations in a laboratory, not just the precision technical part of it, but the following a standard operating procedure and what that is, and following the regulatory bodies that laboratories fall under. One of our first exposures is to biosafety labs, and following everything in a very measured way really helps them see that we build these habits in our class, so that when they go into the industry and into a biotech lab, that they have these technical skills already in place, that they're not brand new to them, and they can speak to it to a potential employer. We take them on field trips. They get to ask all the questions to these places that we go. We've been to TGen. We plan to go to Arizona Bioscience or Bio Design Institute. We're going to go to GCU and kind of walk through their cadaver labs, their forensic science department, things like that. So they really get exposure to a lot of array of different ways that biotechnology is used in the world, so that they can kind of formulate their own opinions and their own passions and kind of see what kind of drives them.
Do students earn a certificate upon completion of this course, or what are next steps?
Okay, so they spend the year learning the skills and learning the write-ups and all those kinds of things to sit for a test. It's a industry recognized. It's called the Biotechnology Aptitude and Credentialing Exam. So this is industry-driven. There's a board of advisors all over the nation. It comes through a company through the University of Florida called Biotechnology, and it is there's 8 different parts of the exam. They have 4 hours to take it, and they need an 80% pass. It's 80% or higher to pass it, and if they do pass it, then they will earn this certificate from the industry partners that basically they can put on an application. It is highly desirable for an employer to see that this potential employee has this background, because it really saves them a lot of money from having to try to then train somebody that has no idea what's going on. So it saves an employer a lot of time and money already having somebody come to the table with this certification.
So they could go right to work.
Right to work. I feel like the only downside is that you have to be 18 to work in industry in a biotech lab. But they could start in a biotech lab as soon as they turn 18, and they would be picked up in a heartbeat. So the CTE program also provides a certificate of technical skills and assessment. So it's just not as industry recognized, but it still is comprehensive about, the base test is obviously a little deeper, but the CTE exam, they will all sit and take as well. So there's 2 certifications they can earn.
I think about all the ways that high school has evolved. And when I visit our high schools, I'm just every time I'm in awe at what it is that our students are learning, but more importantly, what it is that they're really doing, and all the content knowledge, but really the hands-on experiences that they're having. Jacob, you're taking it for granted, maybe, or maybe you realize how cool it is. But when you're teaching it, how do you even stay on top of all that's evolving out in the world to bring to your classroom?
So I feel like our field trips really help us see what's most current. We spend the first quarter of the semester looking at current research in biotechnology. So we look at bioplastics and biofuels and bioremediation and all the different ways that currently biotechnology is really entering the fields. We look at the logistics. Some people are interested in the logistics. There's a lot that goes into even just packaging up the materials for a lab and moving that kind of stuff and the regulations and stuff like that. So there's a lot of irons in the fire when it comes to what they could do, and so really just being able to expose them to like TGen and to the Biodesign Institute, and really kind of then gives them what we're learning in class. They can hopefully make that connection to what they see in the labs of what they're doing. And so far we've had some really good connections made at the different field trips we've gone on.
Very cool.
I'm curious, you talked about how things have changed since you started down this road in biotech. What's the influence of artificial intelligence? Do you see anything there?
So do you remember when we were at TGen and we were talking about coding? And that is one thing. So I took over the biotech class last year.
Okay.
And 20 years ago, I remember taking a coding class, but it was mainly to do like a program so I could do my own BLAST sequencing, because the database at the NIH hasn't been really formalized, and so we were trying to like do it for our own experiments. And so I had started thinking about maybe teaching these guys a little bit of coding, and I had a conversation at TGen, because they do precision medicine there, and
right.
They were talking about the use of AI, and I said, I've been playing around with the idea of maybe teaching these guys how to write a little bit of code, and then take some of our data and kind of just do like a little, on a smaller scale, kind of analyzing a lot of data that we have using AI to kind of filter through that, because that's what they're doing at TGen on a large level with people's DNA sequences,
right,
to find where those mutations are. And TGen was the person we were talking to. TGen said that would be very helpful for our students to do. So AI is being developed and is being utilized more and more in biotechnology that I'm seeing in different companies as I start to research out.
That's what I would have expected.
Yeah.
So Jacob, I'm curious if there are any student listeners to our SUSD Spotlight, what would you tell them about this class and why they should consider enrolling?
I'd tell them that this class, I love this class. I think it's a lot of fun. I think we do a lot of labs, which has always been, I think, everybody's favorite part of taking a science class. Nobody's favorite part is going to be taking notes. Everybody wants to see what it can do. So in biotech, we do a lot of labs. I mean, I think we do one almost every week, probably every other week, if you want to average it out. But it's very hands-on, and sometimes it feels like a lot, and then other times it feels like nothing. So it switches a lot, but it's definitely worth taking.
And do we have students from other schools that enroll in this, or only Saguaro?
Yeah, no. Anyone in our high school system can take this class. We would offer transportation to get to the class, and right now it's the first and second period of school.
Okay.
So we currently have a student from Chaparral that's in our class as well. So it works out pretty well the way that the scheduling works to try to make this accessible to anybody that has interest in it. They just need to make sure they've had biology and chemistry.
So there are prerequisites.
Yes, because we don't have time to do the foundational learning. We're applying all that in our class. So
And it can be juniors or seniors, or
juniors or seniors are the ones that are the most successful. Yes.
And are these students that are, those pre-med students that already sort of have dialed in what it is they want to do? Or are they engineers, they want to work in a lab, or does it really just run the gamut?
From my experience, it runs the gamut. I would say over half are kind of medical interest, right? Last year, I had a student that was really interested in veterinary medicine, and after working through a couple of our labs, she wasn't a huge fan of the microbiology part of it, and she decided to change her major to data analytics. So, I mean, but learning that here instead of getting into college and spending 2 years worth of time and money in college to then realize that that's not what she wants to do. She learned it here before she wasted her time and money.
That's the coolest thing about high school nowadays. You get to explore so many passions or interests and just sort of dip your toe and find out maybe what piques your interest.
And she was great at like analyzing all the numbers and the data tables and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think she'll do great in data analytics. She's somebody that would be really good in like computer science and coding. Yeah. So.
Well, it's a fascinating topic. We appreciate you taking time to share more about the biotech classes at Saguaro High School. At the end of every podcast, I like to ask my guests if there's a particular teacher in your experience that you want to give a shout out to. Teachers do amazing work, and you can name any teacher that you've had or any other person in the school system who's made a difference for you, but I'd like to have both of you answer that question.
I think if I was going to give a teacher a shout, it would have to be Miss Bond.
So tell me what it is about Miss Bond that causes you to have taken her multiple times and wanted to be in this class here last year.
Well, my freshman year I came in and something about, so I was there first thing in the morning, so it was my first period. So it was always sort of a rougher one because going in, biology was definitely not the easiest subject to start with the day with. But I could come in and Miss Bond would always be ready. She'd always be very energetic, which I needed in the morning because otherwise I could have sat there and slept if it was if it was going to be boring. And she just always kept it going. And I think biology too. I was very interested in biology, so Miss Bond was just the right messenger as well, and it just worked out.
That's a great testimony. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks. I'm blessed to have some very special students. They're motivated, they want to learn. It's so fun to teach students that really want to learn. And I am by and far I don't have all the answers, and so this 2027 class is pretty special.
26
class.
Yeah, 26. We're not getting held back.
Sorry, no, 26.
Not this
so
time.
it's 26 and 27. Those two classes have a large population of students that are highly motivated. I can feel vulnerable about not knowing all the answers, and they're more like a team. Like let's go find the answers. What did you find? Come back and tell me what you find. And so it makes my learning experience even that much more fun too when I have students like Jacob.
And who was your inspiration? Do you have a teacher? Someone that made a difference?
Probably my cell biology teacher at ASU, Dr. Capco, was probably one of the hardest teachers I ever had. But he was also one of the most knowledgeable, and he made learning cell biology really fun. And I would hope that I try to do that with my students too, because cell biology is a very hard concept because a lot of it is you can't see it unless it's under a very special microscope with that magnifies it. So Dr. Capco did a really good job doing that for me. So I just would hope that I'm doing as good as he is with my students.
Well, thank you for celebrating the people who are making a difference and educating the future generations. And thank you for listening to this edition of SUSD Spotlight.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and that you will pitch us ideas for future episodes. You can find us online at susd.org/spotlight.